Here is this socialist, communist, champion of the working man, Hasan Piker, from his multi-million-dollar mansion in Los Angeles that he has bought with the many, many millions of dollars he has squeezed out of this community of people who follow him. Here he is on February 24th, or just a couple of days ago, explaining why his job is actually, at least in some respects, more difficult than, more trying than, more socially and spiritually draining than, and emotionally burdensome than the jobs of people who have ordinary jobs that make hourly wages, that have bosses, that involve manual labor, where they have to be at work by a certain day, a certain hour every day, like 9 to 5 or 10 to 6 or 10 to 7. They take buses back and forth to their jobs. They have all kinds of layers of people telling them what to do. According to him, he said, his job in some respects is more burdensome and more difficult than all of those people. And here was his explanation for why.
Yes, a real job can be gruesome. A real job can make you very tired. But a real job doesn't suck the soul out of you. You know what I mean? In the same way that 9 hours of streaming absolutely will. So
that was the excerpt of his stream that circulated. It created a lot of anger and rage, even among some people on the left, because if you're making $7 million a year, that's my guess of what he's making, maybe more, and you basically just sit in front of your computer in your mansion and you stream whenever you want and you talk about whatever you want. He spends a lot of time just showing other people's videos without crediting them, or whatever he wants to do, that's what he does, and he makes an enormous amount of money and lives this life of an online celebrity. It's probably not a good idea, especially if you claim that you're a champion of the working person, to go around talking about how difficult your job is, as he did here. Now, he claimed this clip was out of context and didn't really show the full context of what he was saying, so he and people on his staff began circulating what they said was the fuller picture, and I think a lot of people pointed out correctly that it didn't make it any better. If anything, it made it any worse. And you can see, even though this is the clip they chose, it begins, obviously he's responding to people in his audience objecting to the things he said, like, what are you talking about? What do you mean that there are some respects in which your job is harder than the ordinary worker? And here's what he said while responding to it. And this is, again, the clip they published that was designed to show what they claim is the fuller context of his comments.
No. Social battery wise, unless you're in fucking retail, it's very different. You're out of touch. I'm gonna die, dude. There's motherfuckers who are accountants in here and they're misunderstanding what I'm saying. A real job does not expend your social battery in the same fucking way as someone who did a sales job, a real job, okay? I'm telling you, as someone who did both, like 9 hours of constant performance and people pleasing taps you out from social scenarios. After 9 hours of that, I could probably do fucking physical labor. It would not bother me. But I can't fucking do more social shit. That's my point. Like, there are obviously real jobs out there that are good comparisons. Service sector, people-pleasing jobs would be very similar. Those are, like, I think, customer service type shit. But, like, if you're an accountant or if you're even, like, in sales, my interactions with clients was limited. Way more limited than like constantly having to do this for 9 hours with like a back and forth interaction for 9 hours. That's what like sucks your social battery and you just tap out after it. Yeah, think about it this way. Like, you give presentations for your job, right? Imagine giving a presentation for 9 hours straight. It's like, after a while, you would be like, I don't want to talk ever again.
Now, here's the thing, I guess kind of in his defense, which is that everything in life ends up balanced. If you pursue anything, whatever it is, and end up obtaining it, fame or notoriety or great wealth, there are actually costs to it. There's harms to it that come to you from that, no matter what it is. Everything ends up in life being balanced. There's a cost and a benefit to everything. If you try and live the most ordinary life, there's actually a benefit to that, and there's a cost to that as well. It's true if you try and live an extraordinary life, whatever it is, nothing is free in life. And I don't doubt, in part from experience, that if you have some sort of public platform, that it's not always easy. The problem is that if you're making many millions of dollars a year by sitting your ass in a chair and streaming online whenever you want, with no one telling you what to say, whatever difficulties you're having in life, don't go around complaining about those to people who are making $15 an hour, and who take the bus back and forth to their jobs and make $60,000 a year and struggle to sustain their family without health insurance and have bosses always telling them what to say and have soul-deadening jobs. Just keep that to yourself. That is not a grievance that you should be expressing to the public about how difficult your multi-million-dollar completely autonomous life is that you choose to do. But I have to say, and here's just by the way, when he's saying he's online for 9 hours a day, I mean, it's not an exaggeration. This is what we showed you last week as well with a different streamer. But here right now, when we went on live on the air and grabbed this statistic of his last number of days streaming, he was online right then. He had been online for 4 hours and 25 minutes. I assume he's still going. He's live. Then yesterday, the 25th, he was on for 6 hours. The 24th, 5 hours and 25 minutes. The 23rd, 9 hours and 55 minutes. The 22nd, 9 hours. The 21st, 8 hours and 40 minutes. The 20th, 10 hours and 50 minutes. The 19th, 11 hours. The 18th, 7 hours and 30 minutes. That is insane. He streams every single day, all day. Most of his waking life is devoted to sitting online, talking for an audience. And that's what these streaming communities are, because these people who follow them and who are in them need it. It's like their sustenance. They have to be available all day, every day. This is what these people do. And in a certain way, I guess this was the point that we were making, this is the reason why these communities are so sickly and so unhealthy. Because if you are spending that much time of your life online, performing for an audience, desperately needing feedback constantly, and when I was watching some of the content about this controversy, part of it was showing how he supposedly went on a vacation to Italy, was going to take off, and because people were saying things about him on some forum, he ended up spending his entire vacation online, ranting and raving and screaming and yelling about people criticizing him into a camp. This is extremely unhealthy behavior. Extremely unhealthy behavior. And the communities that are being spawned based on this ethos that hundreds of thousands and millions of people are dedicating their lives to and deriving their identity from is extremely destructive. And it's why we have so much mental health pathology. Here from the Economic Times on December 14th of 2023, you see the headline, Gen Z is addicted to YouTube. A Pew survey finds 1 in 16 visit the video sharing portal daily. Quote, 71% of teens said they visit YouTube at least daily. 16% describe their usage as, quote, almost constant. According to the survey, YouTube remains by far the most popular social platform among teens, with 93% responding that they use the service. Here from the journal Attitude in March of 2022, internet addiction may indicate other mental health problems. Adults who spend an unhealthy amount of time online are more likely to demonstrate symptoms of depression, anxiety, and other mental health conditions, a new research study suggests. So that might explain why some guy who's 30 years old or 35 years old, whatever he is, who has been making many millions of dollars a year, who has bought a big mansion in Los Angeles, who rides around on private jets, who has the lifestyle of a single man who's an online celebrity who goes to concerts all over the world and parties all over the world and talks about his celebrity friends. That is why he could get to the point where he's saying, this job is killing my soul. I mean, think about how serious that is. That's because he spends 10 to 12 hours online. And the problem is that these communities are based on that, because the people who are followers of theirs need this constant available access to their communities because it provides them their sense of worth and their identity and self-esteem. And it's not something that merits kind of condescending judgment, but concern and pity. Quote, spending an unhealthy amount of time online may indicate problems above and beyond internet addiction, a new study finds. Specifically, adults who spend the majority of their waking hours online may be at higher risk for depression, anxiety, or other mental health problems. For example, like adults who spend 10 to 12 hours a day online getting constant feedback about whether they're good, whether they're bad, whether they're loved, whether they're hated, to the point that they can't even go on vacation and travel without getting back onto line and screaming and yelling all day from a hotel room about why the people criticizing them are evil and stupid. Quote, the study conducted by Canadian researchers at McMaster University in Ontario was presented at the 29th European College of Neuropsychopharmacology earlier this week in Vienna. Researchers presented 254 university students with an average age of 18.5 years with a survey that included the dimensions of problematic internet use, a tool designed by the researchers themselves and based off the DSMV criteria for addiction. 33 of the students met the criteria for a full-blown internet addiction, while an additional 107 participants raised flags for, quote, problematic internet use. Now, if you're a parent, especially a parent of teenagers, you know the challenge of how these machines are built to try and lure them into devoting their lives, giving their lives over to this technology. It's a major challenge to parents to limit that, to keep them offline so that they remain mentally healthy. And they just wither away if all they're doing is constantly spending time behind their phone, developing their sense of identity based on parasocial friendships that don't actually exist or communities that are imagined and fabricated. And that is why this is so worth examining. These are real mental health epidemics in the United States among particularly people who are born into the era of the internet. Thanks for watching this clip from System Update, our live show that airs every Monday through Friday at 7 p.m. Eastern, exclusively on Rumble. You can catch the full nightly shows live or view the backlog of episodes for free on our Rumble page. You can also find full episodes the morning after they air across all major podcasting platforms, including Spotify and Apple. All the information you need is linked below. We hope to see you there.